From tragic baby mammoths with milk still in their stomachs to fierce predators frozen mid-hunt, here are 10 extraordinary prehistoric animals discovered perfectly preserved in ice. But one discovery will challenge everything you thought you knew about extinction. First, Sasha, the woolly rhino baby. Our journey begins with perhaps one of the most heartbreaking discoveries ever made in the Siberian wilderness. In the unforgiving landscape of the Sakha Republic, where winter temperatures can plummet to life-threatening extremes, hunters stumbled upon something extraordinary in 2014 along the banks of the Terektiak River. Protruding from the thawing permafrost was the small, furry form of what would become known as Sasha, a baby woolly rhinoceros that had been frozen in time for an incredible 10,000 years. Named after Alexander Sasha Banderov, one of the hunters who made the discovery, this remarkable specimen represented far more than just another paleontological find. This was the first juvenile woolly rhinoceros ever discovered with such extraordinary preservation, complete with thick fur, intact skin, and even a small, budding horn. At approximately 18 months old, based on careful analysis of tooth wear and body development, Sasha measured about 1.5 meters in length and weighed an estimated 50 to 60 kilograms. The woolly rhinoceros, known scientifically as Coelodonta antiquitatis, was one of the most successful large herbivores of the Ice Age. These magnificent creatures had evolved incredible adaptations for surviving in the harsh mammoth steppe ecosystem that stretched from Europe to Asia, including fur that could reach up to 50 centimeters in length and provided essential insulation against temperatures that regularly dropped to -50 degrees Celsius. Their distinctive two horns, composed of keratin like human fingernails, served multiple purposes, including defense, foraging under snow, and social displays. The tragic circumstances of Sasha's death paint a vivid picture of the dangers that constantly threatened young animals during the Ice Age. Scientific examination revealed silt in the calf's lungs and stomach, providing clear evidence that Sasha had drowned in a river, possibly while attempting to cross dangerous waters during a seasonal migration with her herd. Despite showing no signs of disease or injury, this healthy, thriving young animal's life was cut short by the environmental hazards that were an unavoidable part of Ice Age existence. While herbivores like Sasha faced constant dangers from environmental hazards, they weren't the only Ice Age animals whose lives were preserved in permafrost's icy embrace. Sparta, the cave lion cub. In the eastern reaches of Siberia, where the landscape bears witness to countless millennia of geological and biological history, a discovery in 2018 would reveal the remarkably preserved remains of one of the Ice Age's most formidable predators. This extraordinary find was Sparta, a female cave lion cub who had been entombed in permafrost for approximately 28,000 years. Discovered near the Indigirka River alongside another cub named Boris, Sparta was part of what scientists believe was a litter that perished together in some ancient catastrophe, possibly a landslide or cave collapse that buried them alive. The preservation was so remarkable that when researchers at the Mammoth Museum in Yakutsk began their examination, they found not just bones and fur, but also whiskers, claws, soft tissues, and even intact internal organs after nearly 3 millennia. At just 1 to 2 months old, Sparta measured 40 centimeters in length and weighed approximately 2 to 3 kilograms, roughly the size of a modern house cat, yet genetically destined to become one of the most powerful predators the world has ever known. Panthera spelaea, the Eurasian cave lion, was significantly larger than today's African lions, with adult males capable of reaching 2.5 meters in length and weighing up to 300 kilograms. Unlike their modern relatives, cave lions had specifically adapted to the harsh cold of Ice Age climates, developing thick underfur for insulation while lacking the prominent manes that characterize contemporary male lions. Sparta's light-colored coat, marked with faint stripes that would have provided excellent camouflage in snowy environments, represented evolutionary adaptations refined over hundreds of thousands of years for hunting in frozen landscapes. The scientific investigation into Sparta's remains yielded extraordinary insights into cave lion biology and behavior. Advanced CT scanning technology allowed researchers to examine the cub's brain structure, heart, and lungs without causing any damage to the precious specimen, revealing detailed anatomical information that had never before been available for this extinct species. The scans showed no evidence of disease, but did reveal signs of asphyxiation from mud, confirming the tragic circumstances of her death. Now let's talk about another baby mammal that shook the scientific world, Leuba Chroma. The world of Ice Age discoveries took an emotional turn with the emergence of two baby woolly mammoth calves, whose stories would touch hearts around the globe while revolutionizing our scientific understanding of these magnificent creatures. The tale begins in the windswept wilderness of Siberia, where reindeer herder Yuri Kudi made a life-changing discovery in 2007 along the Yamal Peninsula. Protruding from a collapsed riverbank was the remarkably preserved body of a baby mammoth, a one-month-old female calf that had been frozen for approximately 42,000 years. Named Leuba in honor of Kudi's wife, this discovery would soon be followed by another equally remarkable find. 2 years later, hunters near the Chroma River discovered another mammoth calf, slightly older at 2 to 3 months, who would be named Chroma after the river where she was found. The preservation of both calves was nothing short of miraculous. Leuba's body was 85% intact, with her trunk, eyes, and thick, woolly fur still clearly visible after more than 4 millennia in the frozen ground. Standing 85 centimeters tall and weighing approximately 50 kilograms, she represented a perfect snapshot of mammoth infancy, complete with all the physical characteristics that would have allowed her to survive in the harsh Ice Age environment alongside her family herd. Both calves belonged to Mammothus primigenius, the woolly mammoth species that had evolved into one of the most successful large mammals of the Pleistocene epoch. These magnificent creatures were closely related to modern elephants, but had developed remarkable adaptations for life in frozen landscapes, including curved tusks for foraging under snow, multiple layers of insulating fat, and dense, long hair that could protect them from temperatures well below freezing. Moving from the tragic tales of young animals to discoveries that have pushed the very boundaries of what scientists believed possible in terms of preservation, we encounter the remarkable story of ancient steppe bison found in northern Siberia, the ancient bison. These discoveries, including specimens found in 1979 and a particularly extraordinary find in 2011 near Ustyansk, have provided some of the most perfectly preserved examples of Ice Age megafauna ever recovered. The 2011 specimen was so remarkably preserved that it seemed to challenge the very laws of decomposition and biological decay. This ancient steppe bison, belonging to the extinct species Bison priscus, had not only retained its external features but also maintained intact brain tissue, heart, digestive system, and an intricate network of blood vessels. Measuring approximately 2.5 meters in length, this massive herbivore represented one of the most successful large mammals of the mammoth steppe ecosystem. The steppe bison was perfectly adapted for life in the harsh, cold grasslands that dominated northern Europe and Asia during the Pleistocene epoch. These magnificent animals possessed large, curved horns that served multiple crucial functions: defense against predators like cave lions and wolves, competition with other bison for territory and mates, and as tools for scraping away snow to reach vegetation buried beneath winter's frozen blanket. Their robust build and thick winter coats represented millions of years of evolutionary refinement for survival in some of Earth's most challenging environments. What made the 2011 discovery revolutionary was the unprecedented quality of preservation that allowed scientists to study aspects of ancient physiology that had never before been possible. Detailed anatomical examination revealed cardiovascular adaptations that allowed these animals to maintain circulation in extreme cold, including specialized blood vessel configurations that minimized heat loss while ensuring adequate blood flow to extremities. These discoveries provided insights into how large mammals could not only survive but thrive in conditions that would prove fatal to most modern species. Examination of stomach contents and digestive tract remains revealed a diet consisting primarily of steppe grasses, sedges, and other cold-adapted vegetation that characterized the mammoth steppe environment. This dietary information, combined with isotopic analysis of tissue samples, has revealed details about seasonal migration patterns, showing that these animals traveled extensive distances following the growth and retreat of suitable vegetation throughout the year. The frozen foal. The permafrost of Siberia continued to yield its secrets when researchers working in one of Earth's most dramatic geological features made a discovery that would provide unprecedented insights into equine evolution during the Ice Age. The Batagaica crater, a massive depression formed by thawing permafrost and often called the Gateway to Hell by local residents, became the site of an extraordinary 2018 discovery. What emerged from this frozen time capsule was the remarkably preserved remains of a prehistoric horse foal, dated to to between 30,000 and 40,000 years old. This extraordinary specimen belonged to the extinct Lena horse species, Equus lenensis, and represented a 2-month-old foal that had been perfectly preserved by the region's permanently frozen ground for tens of thousands of years. The preservation of this ancient foal was so remarkable that it seemed almost supernatural in its completeness. When researchers began their examination, they discovered that not only had external features been preserved, including pristine hooves, intact skin, and even the fine hairs inside its nostrils, but internal structures had also remained remarkably intact. Perhaps most astonishing of all, the foal's bladder still contained urine after 4 millennia, providing researchers with biological samples that offered unique insights into the animal's final hours of life. Standing approximately 3 feet tall, this young horse represented a crucial evolutionary link in understanding how equids adapted to the extreme conditions of Ice Age Siberia. The Lena horse had evolved specific adaptations for surviving in environments where temperatures could drop well below 40 degrees, including a compact body structure that minimized heat loss and a thick winter coat that provided essential insulation. Scientific analysis of the preserved urine has allowed researchers to study ancient bacteria and microorganisms that existed in the horse's digestive system, providing unprecedented information about microbial communities that existed tens of thousands of years ago. The foal's death, like so many Ice Age tragedies, resulted from the environmental hazards that constantly threatened young animals. Based on the position of the body and examination of internal organs, researchers believe the foal likely died from drowning or suffocation after becoming trapped in mud or quicksand-like sediment, with rapid burial creating the anaerobic conditions necessary for exceptional preservation. The prehistoric bear. As we delve deeper into the mysteries preserved by Siberian permafrost, we encounter a discovery that challenged scientists' expectations and forced them to reconsider the boundaries between prehistoric and contemporary wildlife. In 2020, researchers announced the discovery of what was initially thought to be a cave bear, one of the iconic extinct megafauna species of the Ice Age. However, as detailed analysis progressed, a surprising truth emerged. This 3,460-year-old specimen, found in the Rhine-Dukenskaya region, was actually a female brown bear, Ursus arctos, the very same species that continues to inhabit northern regions today. This revelation was both unexpected and scientifically profound, representing a direct genetic bridge between ancient bear populations and their modern descendants. The preservation of this ancient bear was remarkable for multiple reasons beyond its impressive age. Despite being frozen for over 3 millennia, the specimen retained soft tissues and organic material that allowed for detailed anatomical and genetic analysis. Estimated at 2 to 3 years old at the time of death, this young adult bear had recently achieved independence from its mother, but had not yet reached full maturity when its life ended in the Siberian wilderness. What made this discovery particularly fascinating was the genetic continuity it revealed. DNA extraction and sequencing showed that this ancient bear was genetically very similar to modern brown bear populations, demonstrating remarkable species stability over thousands of years. This genetic stability stood in stark contrast to many other Ice Age species that underwent rapid evolutionary changes or disappeared entirely as climatic conditions shifted at the end of the Pleistocene. Physical examination revealed that the bear had died from natural causes, possibly illness or injury, rather than predation or human intervention. Living during the Bronze Age, when human civilizations were developing metallurgy and complex agricultural systems, this bear inhabited a world that remained largely unchanged from much earlier periods, representing continuity in an era of human advancement. The specimen's excellent preservation has provided scientists with unprecedented opportunities to study bear anatomy and physiology in ways that conventional fossils cannot support. The retention of soft tissues has allowed researchers to examine muscle structure, organ positioning, and other anatomical details that are typically lost in the fossilization process, contributing valuable data to ongoing studies of bear evolution and adaptation strategies. Nun Cho Ga. Our exploration of Ice Age discoveries takes on deeper cultural significance as we travel from Siberia to the gold-rich wilderness of Canada's Yukon Territory, where mining operations have been revealing Earth's hidden treasures for over a century. In 2022, miners working in the Klondike goldfields made a discovery that would transcend typical scientific boundaries and demonstrate the profound importance of indigenous collaboration in paleontological research. The specimen they unearthed was extraordinary in both its preservation and its cultural significance. Nun Cho Ga, Siberia to the gold-rich wilderness of Canada's Yukon Territory, where mining operations have been Earth's hidden treasures for over a century. In 2022, miners working in the Klondike goldfields made a discovery would transcend typical scientific boundaries and demonstrate the profound importance of indigenous collaboration in paleontological research. The unearthed was extraordinary, with its preservation and its cultural significance. Nun Cho Ga, big baby animal, in the hair language of the Trondek First Nation, was a 30,000-year-old baby woolly mammoth that represented the most complete mummified mammoth ever discovered in North America. During approximately 4.5 feet in length, this female calf had hair, skin, and other soft tissues preserved in remarkable condition. This discovery from others was a collaborative approach taken between scientific researchers and indigenous knowledge partners. The Trondek First Nation, on whose traditional territory the discovery became full partners in the research process, ensuring that indigenous perspectives and cultural protocols were honored throughout the investigation. This partnership established new standards for how such discovery should be approached, recognizing communities as essential stakeholders rather than mere observers. The calf's remarkable presence included intact hair that created an almost lifelike appearance, compressing 30,000 years into what seemed like a single moment frozen in time. The specimen's skin retained the wrinkled texture of elephant hide, while internal examinations revealed organ tissue structures that provided unprecedented insights into mammoth physiology and developmental biology. Scientific analysis revealed crucial information about North American mammoth populations during the Pleistocene, while honoring the cultural significance of this remarkable discovery. Ancient penguin colony. Our journey through frozen discoveries takes us from the northern permafrost regions to the opposite end of the Earth, where the pristine wilderness of Antarctica has preserved its own remarkable secrets from the past. At Cape Irizar, one of Antarctica's most remote locations, melting ice has revealed the remains of an ancient penguin colony that provides unique insights into polar life thousands of years ago. This discovery represents something entirely different from the individual animal specimens we've encountered so far. The site contains mummified remains, bones, and eggshells from what was once a thriving Adelie penguin colony, with specimens dating between 800 and 5,000 years old. The preservation occurred through natural mummification in Antarctica's extremely dry, cold conditions, creating an archaeological site that tells the story of an entire community rather than individual animals. The Adelie penguins, Pygocelis adelii, found at this site were members of the same species that continues to inhabit Antarctic waters today. However, the colony at Cape Irizar was abandoned centuries ago, possibly due to volcanic activity, changes in sea level, or shifts in local climate conditions that made the location unsuitable for breeding. The site now serves as a frozen monument to the dynamic nature of Antarctic ecosystems and the adaptability required for survival in polar environments. The scientific value of this discovery lies in its ability to provide information about penguin behavior, breeding patterns, and environmental adaptations across extended time periods. The thousands of remains scattered across the site paint a detailed picture of ancient breeding grounds, showing how penguin colonies organized themselves and adapted to local conditions over centuries. The exposure of this ancient colony serves as a powerful reminder of how climate change is affecting polar regions. The same warming that has revealed these fascinating remains is also threatening modern penguin populations by altering sea ice conditions, changing food availability, and disrupting traditional breeding sites. The ancient colony thus serves both as a window into the past and a warning about the future of Antarctic wildlife. The hibernating squirrel. Sometimes the most profound scientific discoveries come in the smallest packages, a truth perfectly illustrated by a remarkable find made in Canada's Yukon Territory. In the permafrost of this northern wilderness, researchers discovered the mummified remains of an Arctic ground squirrel that had been preserved for approximately 30,000 years. What made this discovery particularly extraordinary was not just the preservation, but the position in which the animal was found. The squirrel, belonging to the species Urositellus parrii, was discovered curled in its natural hibernation pose within what had once been its underground burrow. Remarkable find made in Canada's Yukon Territory. In the permafrost of this northern wilderness, researchers discovered the mummified remains of an Arctic ground squirrel that had been for approximately 30,000 years. What made this discovery particularly extraordinary was not just the preservation, but the position in which the animal was found. The squirrel, belonging to the Urositellus parrii, was discovered curled in its natural hibernation pose within what had once been its underground burrow. This remarkable preservation captured a movie that provided unprecedented insights into hibernation strategy that have remained essentially unchanged for millennia. The Arctic ground squirrel is particularly significant as this exact species continues to inhabit the Yukon region today, creating a direct link between prehistoric and temporary Arctic ecosystem. Modern Arctic ground squirrels are renowned for their extreme hibernation capabilities, lowering their body temperature to near freezing and remaining dormant for up to 8 months of the year. The ancient demonstrated that these remarkable survival strategies have been successful for tens of thousands of years. Analysis of seeds found in the squirrel's cheek pouches provided valuable information about ancient plant community and demonstrated the animal's role in seed dispersal throughout Ice Age ecosystems. Perhaps most remarkably, some of these ancient seeds proved to be viable and were eliminated by researchers. Ice Age plant life back to life after 30,000 years of dormancy. The discovery highlights the incredible efficiency of small mammal survival strategies during the Ice Age. While large megafauna like mammoths and lions faced extinction pressures from climate change and human activity, species like the Arctic ground squirrel survived, developing highly specialized behavioral adaptations that allowed them to minimize expenditure. Was a female gray wolf pup, approximately 7 weeks old at the time of death, discovered in permafrost with preservation so extraordinary that every detail except her eyes remained intact after nearly 6 decades of millennia in the frozen ground. The level of preservation was so remarkable that researchers could examine not just her physical structure, but also details of her diet, health, and the circumstances surrounding her death. Analysis of stomach contents revealed that Zhe's diet consisted primarily was a female wolf pup, approximately 7 weeks old at the time of death, discovered in permafrost with preservation so extraordinary that every detail except remained intact after nearly 6 decades of millennia in the frozen ground. The level of preservation was so remarkable that researchers could examine not just her physical structure, but also details of her diet, health, and the circumstances surrounding her death. Analysis of stomach contents revealed that Zhe's diet consisted primarily of fish, suggesting that her packs riverine hunting strategies rather than the large mammal hunting typically associated with Ice Age wolves. This dietary specialization provided insights into the diverse hunting strategies employed by wolf populations during the Pleistocene and adaptability that allowed wolves to survive the massive environmental changes that eliminated many other species. Genetic analysis of Zhe yielded surprising results that shed light on wolf evolution and migration patterns. DNA sequencing revealed that this ancient pup closely related to wolves from Eurasia than to local North American populations, suggesting complex migration patterns across the Bering Land Bridge that connected Asia and North America lower sea level. Evidence suggests that Zhe died when her den collapsed, burying her alive in what must have been a sudden and tragic event. The rapid burial created perfect conditions for preservation, allowing modern study aspects of wolf biology and behavior that would otherwise have time. Has contributed significantly to our understanding of how wolf populations survived the dramatic environmental changes that marked the Ice Age. While many large predators like saber-toothed cats went extinct, wolves demonstrated remarkable adaptability, allowed them to adjust to changing prey bases, altered land, and increasing human presence. Equus lenensis, it offers an unparalleled glimpse into the Pleistocene epoch, a time when woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats roamed the mammoth steppe. The horse, an adult stallion estimated to be around 4 to 5 years old at death, measured about 1.4 meters at the shoulder, smaller than modern horses but built for endurance in harsh climates. Its thick, woolly coat, still intact with individual hairs visible, provided insulation against temperatures that could plummet to 50 degrees C. Equus lenensis, it offers an unparalleled glimpse into the Pleistocene epoch, a time when woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats roamed the mammoth steppe. The horse, an adult estimated to be around 4 to 5 years old, measured about 1.4 meters at the shoulder, smaller than modern horses but built in harsh climates. Its thick, woolly coat, still intact with individual hairs visible, provided insulation against temperature plummet to 50 degrees C. The preservation astonishing. Skin, hooves, mane, tail, and even internal blood vessels and organs remained largely untouched by decay. Scientists believe it died suddenly, possibly drowning in a mudbog, which quickly froze and mummified the body in permafrost. A necropsy conducted by experts at the Northeastern Federal University in Yakutsk revealed fascinating final days. The stomach contained undead milk thistle and grasses, indicating a diet adapted to the nutrient-poor tundra grasses of the Ice Age. Blood samples showed traces of ancient proteins and the intact gut bacteria that could reveal insights into prehistoric microbiomes. DNA extracted from the mummy has been sequenced, showing close genetic modern horses and the now extinct Lena horse lineage held in studies published in Nature Communications. This find has implications beyond paleontology. It fuels de-extinction efforts, companies like Colossal Biosciences exploring ways to insert equinosis genes into moderns to recreate cold-adapted traits. The horse's adaptations, such as enhanced fat storage, could inform programs for resilient livestock in changing climates.